everyone, my name is Tamara Chambers, and this is Tamara Just Streamed. And today I streamed Relic, which I guess just came out last week. And if you want to see me happy rage at a movie and you want something joyful, go watch my episode of Eurovision that I did 2 weeks ago, because this one is just sad and morose. Very excited that there was going to be a horror film. Horror is one of my favorite genres ever for movies, and every time I say horror, it sounds like I'm saying whore. So we'll just move on past that. It's kind of like how I never learned how to say brewery. Let's all go down to the brewery. Brewery. Nailed it. I went into Relic knowing nothing about it. I hadn't even seen the trailer, just saw that a new horror film was coming out, and that made me really excited. I did, however, watch this at 1 p.m. today, when I definitely should have waited until I had the place to myself at like 9 p.m. and turn all the lights off and have like some sips of like warm whiskey and lemon, because this was a very incredibly get under your skin creepy film, and they did a really good job with making you feel completely uneasy the entire time. It was a little slow in parts for sure, and I think overall the story, while maybe a little bland, was just incredibly told. And maybe it's something that we've seen before, but it's also just good. It's just well done. I think that this is a really good horror film. I really enjoyed myself. It almost made me physically ill at the end. Just so creepy, like so uneasy, and so gory. There's a lot of gore in this, but not, you know, like Saw gore or Hostel gore. It's gore that is I almost said like art, like artist gore. But that makes me sound like a douchebag, so I'm not gonna say that. It's all practical, and it looks cool. There are a few moments where it's like, that doesn't, you know, when you're ripping your skin away, that doesn't look super real, and there's some moments where instead of showing us, they cut away, which I actually prefer. I'd rather you do full practicals, which it seems as though this movie was just full practical effects, and if they didn't feel confident in showing the effect, they just didn't show you the whole thing. There's a few like punchy scenes or like slappy scenes where we didn't see the actual impact of the punch or the slap, and that's okay, because it still came across really well, I think. Wendy! Do you want me to spray you? Because I will. I'll spray you with the spray bottle. You know you're not allowed on the counter. It's the one place you're not allowed. I'm watching you, Wendy. Stay off of there. Licking your lips? What were you licking? There's no food up there. At the beginning of the film, I wasn't sure if we were going to see whatever this entity or haunted-ass thing was, and I really like where they left us. I'm going to try not to do any massive spoilers here, but just going in, well, this is kind of a spoiler. Kind of spoilers, but actually definitely spoilers. You see some shadowy figures, but you never see anything up close, and you kind of get the feeling that the whole thing is just a shadowy figure. But basically, what this is they've got a haunted as hell house. That house is haunted. That haunted his house, guys. So in that, we've got 3 generations of women, a daughter, a mother, and then a grandmother. The grandmother goes missing for about a week. They're not actually very sure, and they can't find her, and she's living alone in this old house that she used to live in with her husband, but it goes generations back, and there's this weird little cabin in the wood where somebody passed away, and then they took some of the windows from that cabin and they made it to make this new house, and so that's kind of what we're given. That's kind of the story of how the house gets haunted, is there's this evil window. And then the mother and the daughter come to find the grandmother. She turns up, and after that, it's some really uneasy stuff. The grandmother is just she's just haunted as shit, you know? She makes candles for a living. I want one. They're very 90s, those like 90s elaborate candles. Hell yeah. But overall, there's some definite slow moments. Not to say that I need my horror film to be like non-stop scares and boos and ghouls, but there were some slower moments for sure. But I think that's where this movie also just does a really good job, is I always have the subtitles on for movies, especially horror movies, because I like seeing when if I like miss a sound or if something, I get to see it on there. So a bunch of times it would say ominous music or like wood scratching, and I would not hear it or just barely hear it, and I had my volume jacked up. It was really quiet, really dark, but that makes it so uneasy because then you think that you hear it, you think that you see it, and that's really well done. There's one sequence where one of the three women gets stuck in this part of the house that they didn't know was there, and then she can't find her way back out, and it's like this giant maze, and it's very frustrating for her character, and that's really, I was gonna say fun to watch. It's terrifying to watch. A couple of the things with the story I feel like could have been fleshed out a bit more, but I don't know, because I liked it a lot. Wow, Tamara, you're so good at this. Just like incredible work. But like, so we get this whole build up that the grandmother's missing, and then maybe 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes into the movie, very close to the beginning of the film, then she's just back. We have no idea where she went. It's never resolved where she was. She was just in the woods, just kind of fucking around. Just kind of like, I might fuck around and go party in the woods for a few days. I don't fucking know. We get this feeling that there's this entity that is haunting them from this past tragic great-grandfather death. And we see hints of that in dreams that the mother, the middle one, has. But that's never explained, which is cool. I enjoy that. I don't need everything to be like, you know, written out for me and totally like beat by beat explained. But, so we get that entity, and that's the entity that's coming to get the grandmother. And then at the end, it is the grandmother, and then her skin is peeled away, and it was just really unnerving and really, honestly, kind of made my stomach hurt. It was so not where I thought it was going, like so much, because we get a good like couple moments of like, you know, scary grandma is bone crunching and army crawling on the ground, and then like, you know, scary grandma, her butt is showing, lots of grandma butt in this, those kind of like grandma tropes. But then it just goes off in a direction I've never seen, I don't think, in a horror movie ever. I think the performances were great. I think the acting was really good. I really think the direction was good. I think this was a well-made and well-done movie. And it left me with questions, which is probably a good thing. That's probably a good thing, right? It's a good thing. Outside of the horror, though, and I guess this ties in with the performances as well, just the story of this grandmother who lives alone, who might possibly, from what we see, be suffering from dementia, or she's forgetting things, and she's not doing well. That is so heartbreaking. Like, take the ghosts and shit totally out of the picture, but that is just such a terrible and scary and really real life fear for, I think, a lot of people, and that is really hard. Like, the police, when they're first looking for the grandmother, ask the daughter, like, when is the last time you guys spoke? She's like, it's been a while. It's been like 3 weeks. Also, when we spoke, she thought people were trying to get into her house, and I didn't believe her, and you know, whatever. She forgets things, and it's just, it's really heartbreaking, and it's just sad. So like, to have this really sad moment, and the very end, you're like, oh, okay, so they escape the scary grandmother thing, and then the daughter goes back in for her grandmother, for her mom. And she's like, I can't leave her. I already promised earlier that I would never leave her again, because I have been leaving her for the last like 20 years, because I've been living my own freaking life. And you know, you shouldn't feel bad about that, but that's where she was at. And then it's kind of revealed that she's now taking it on. So is it like a family curse? What is this thing, and what does it mean? And now I've just completely spoiled the whole thing. Overall, I would definitely suggest watching this alone in a dark room with all of your lights turned off, with no outside noises, just super spook it up, because it is so uneasy. I loved it. I love a good new horror film, and it did its job. It made me totally uneasy, a little queasy. I really enjoyed the practicals. I thought the performances were stellar, and overall, I mean, definitely the best horror film I've seen this year, other than just real life. Anyways, my name's Tamara Chambers. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all next week. Bye! I'm gonna go call my mom now. How you doing?